Most people think setting up a new spinning reel is simple. Open the box, put line on it, tie on the leader, go fishing.
Oh yeah, baby.
But this is where a lot of problems start. Wind knots, line twists, short casts, braid slipping on the spool, leader knots catching in the guides,
Oh, no.
and sometimes a lost fish that should have been landed.
It just broke my line.
So in this video, I'm taking this brand new Shimano Stradic 2500 HG from fresh out of the box to completely ready for the Texas coast. I'll show you how I mount it, how I start the braid so it won't slip, how full I like the spool, why I use a baby wipe while loading the braid, and how I add fluorocarbon leader so this reel is ready to fish the next time I head south. And there's one small habit I use with spinning reels that can help prevent wind knots before they ever start. Hey, this is Captain Kevin, and you might just learn something new here today. I use reels like this for a lot of my inshore fishing. Redfish, speckled trout, flounder, and anything else I might run into down at the coast. When you first open the box, you'll usually find an owner's manual, a part sheet, the reel, the handle, and a small packet of washers. I always keep the instructions and the part sheet. That may not seem important today, but months or years from now, if you need to order a replacement part or check a reel spec, that paperwork can save you some time. Now this reel has something a little different from some of the older Stradics and pin reels that I have. The handle does not have that second bend on it. So if you're storing the reel back in the box and you want to make room, you may have to take the handle completely off instead of just folding it down. Do not throw away this little packet of washers. These are spool adjustment washers. They can help if your line does not load evenly on the spool. For example, if the braid loads too heavy toward the top or too heavy toward the bottom, adding or removing a washer can help change how the spool sits and how the line lays down. You may never need them, but when you do, you'll be glad you kept them. The next thing is deciding which side you want the handle on. I'm right-handed, so I hold the rod in my right hand and reel with my left. That lets my stronger hand control the rod, set the hook, and fight the fish. Most spinning reels come set up this way, but you can switch that handle if you prefer the other side. Once that's set, I like to put the reel on the rod while spooling because it gives me a straight path through the first guide and helps me keep better tension on the line. For this setup, I'm using 20-pound PowerPro braid. I've guided in the past and I've spooled a lot of reels, so I buy braid in larger spools. For me, 20-pound braid is a good all-around size for inshore fishing because it casts well, has good strength, and it works for several different types of fishing. I'm also using blue painter's tape, a knife or scissors, a baby wipe, and later I'll add that 20-pound fluorocarbon leader. The baby wipe may sound strange, but I'll show you exactly why I use it. The first thing I do is find the end of the braid and tie a large loop using a uni knot. I make an overhand loop, bring the tag end around the main line, wrap it 3 or 4 times, and then pull it down tight. That gives me a slip loop that I can put around the spool. Now I run the braid through the first guide on the rod and down to the reel. Next, I open the bail by hand. Before you tie anything on, make sure you remove any protective wrap or paper that came on the spool. That is just there to protect the reel in the box. You do not want a spool line over it. Put the loop around the spool and wrap the braid around the spool a few times. Then I slide the uni knot down and clinch it tight. I want that line sitting flat and snug against the spool. Then I cut off the tag end so there's no loose pieces sticking out underneath the braid. Now I close the bail by hand. That's important. I do not like closing the bail by turning the handle. I think that habit causes problems over time. It can help create loose loops that turn into wind knots. So every time I cast a spinning reel, I close the bail with my hand. Make sure the line is tight, and then I start reeling. That one small habit can save you a lot of frustration. Here's one little thing I do that gives me extra confidence. I take a small piece of painter's tape and put it over the braid on the spool. Braid can slip on a slick spool if not secured correctly. Some reels are braid ready and some people use backing, But this little piece of tape gives me another layer of security. Before I start loading the reel, I check the direction the braid is coming off the supply spool. I want the line coming off the spool counterclockwise, so I'm not adding a bunch of line twist while I'm loading it. Now here's the baby wipe trick. I fold the baby wipe in half, then fold it again, and then run the braid through the middle of it. Then I weave the baby wipe and line between my fingers and hold it up to the rod. This does two things. First, it protects my fingers. Braid can cut you if you're holding it too tight. Second, braid has coating or residue on it, and you'll see some of that come off the baby wipe instead of over your hands. Most importantly, the wipe lets me apply steady tension while the braid loads onto the spool. The tension matters. I want it packed on there firm and even. Now this part's important. I like to fill the spool up to the point where the lip starts to angle down on the spool. I see a lot of people underfill spinning reels, and then they wonder why they can't cast as far. If their spool is only half full, the line has to come off a deeper edge and you lose casting distance because of that friction. But you also don't want to overfill it. Too much line can jump off the spool and create loops and wind knots. So I'm looking for that sweet spot. Full enough to cast well, but not so full the line wants to fall off the reel. This is also where those washers may come into play. If the line is loading too heavy at the top or too heavy at the bottom, those washers can help adjust the line lay. Once the braid is loaded, I'm going to add my fluorocarbon leader. For this setup, I'm using 20-pound fluorocarbon. I use 20-pound a lot because it's a good all-around leader for the way I fish. For my braid to leader connection, I use an Alberto knot. I know a lot of people like the FG knot, and I used it for a while, but personally, I had several fish lost when my FG knot slipped. Maybe that was my tying method, maybe it was the way I finished the knot, but after it happened a few times, I moved away from it. The Alberto knot has been more reliable for me. I wrap it down about 10 times and then wrap it back about 10 times. Then I make sure the tag end is pulled through the loop 2 or 3 times before I clinch everything down. I have had that Alberto slip on me when I only pulled the tag end through once. Once the knot is tight, I trim both tag ends clean. Now some people will point out that the Alberto knot is bigger than the FG knot, and that's true. But here's the way I solve that. I do not make my leader so long that the knot goes back through the first guide on the rod. I want my leader long enough to fish, but short enough that that knot is outside the first guide when I cast. Even with a smaller knot, I don't like the leader connection going through the guides if I can avoid it. It adds friction, it can reduce casting distance, and it's just one more thing that can go wrong. So for this style of fishing, I keep the leader connection outside the rod guides. On this reel, there's a small line keeper tab, but 20-pound fluorocarbon does not always fit there very well. So I use a rubber band. If you've watched many of my videos, you'll notice I often have rubber bands on my wrist. That's a habit from my guiding days. I use them for all kinds of things. Fishing gear, bags, tackle, food bags, you name it. Here I use a rubber band to secure the fluorocarbon leader to the spool so the reel is ready to store and ready to travel. That's it. This reel started brand new in the box and now it's ready to fish. When I get down to the coast, all I need to do is put it on the rod, thread the line, tie on whatever lure I want to start fishing with, and go look for redfish, trout, or flounder. Setting up a spinning reel is not hard, but the little details matter. A loose start on the spool, too much line, not enough line, line twists, closing the bail with the handle, letting your leader not bang through the guides, all of these small things can turn into problems once you're on the water. And if you want to avoid more of those problems, I've got another video you should watch. 6 rookie spinning reel mistakes.